I was there. Heaven help me, I was there. What a difference a few days make. It all started with everybody happy, welcoming this Jesus into the city, and then there was the incident in the temple, and it all went a bit quiet. Well, if anything was going on, I didn't get to hear about it. Having said that, I bet there was plenty going on behind the scenes. I bet there were meetings galore of them who held the reins of power. I bet they weren't happy, and I'm absolutely positive that they were trying to figure out how to sort this bloke out without creating havoc in the land. They'd obviously decided he wasn't who he said he was, but there were still plenty of people around, albeit mostly at the bottom of the political and social ladder, who thought he was still a great guy and something special. Maybe not the chosen one, but still a prophet at the very least, and you don't want to be seen going up against people like him using the combined might of the Jewish and Roman authorities. Not good political sense, if you see what I mean. Now, they needed to do it quietly, without raising too much stink, and above all, they needed to do it quickly. So, there we were. There I was, in the early hours of the morning, in the courtyard outside the chief priest's house. It was cold, but there was the usual big log fire in the middle, and there were quite a few standing round it, including me, and like me, I guess most of them just couldn't figure out where it had all gone wrong. From where we were, you could look across and you could actually see a lot of what was happening, and it wasn't a pretty sight. Mind you, for most of the time I couldn't watch, but I could hear what was going on. There was a lot of shouting and yelling and coming and going of people. It looked like it was some sort of hearing, and there was the chosen one, although nobody was calling him that now, not out loud anyway, standing in the middle just taking it. Then there was more yelling, and a bit of a gasp from the people around me, the ones who insisted on watching what was happening, as the chief priest gave a big yell and tore his robes. That was bad news. Then there were more shouts, and you could hear someone being slapped and beaten. No prizes for guessing who. It was horrible. Then one of the servant girls who had been bringing us updates on what was actually being said and by whom went up to this one rough-looking guy in the middle of us and accused him of being in the inner circle of the guy on trial. He wasn't having it, of course. Well, he daren't. After all, just a short distance away, things were going really badly for his leader, and the last thing any sane person would want is to get the same treatment himself. I don't think he convinced her personally, but then another guy stands up and says the same thing to him. Again, he denies it and tries to move into the safety of the shadows, but the trouble is, he doesn't seem to be able to tear himself away from watching the events across the way. A bit of a giveaway, that, if you ask me. And sure enough, a third guy accuses of him being one of the group. Maybe they all thought there might be a bit of reward money available. I don't know, but all of a sudden up he gets and he's cursing and swearing and shouting that he doesn't even know the man. Then, clear as a bell, this rooster crowed. It was almost dawn by this time, and the guy looked across at his mate in the palace, and it was like he'd been turned to stone. Honest. There he was, transfixed, gazing at the fella on trial, and I could see that he was looking back at him. It felt like time stood still. Everybody just froze where they were, and then it was all over, and our poor guy just burst into tears and ran off, shoving people out of his way, and he was gone. But I could still hear his sobbing as he went off into the distance. It was heartbreaking, seeing a grown man like that reduced to tears. Terrible. I'll never forget it. Never. But I was there. Yes, I was there.